Russell Shacklefords asking me, what moves did you make to get your daughter? Like legal moves. Did you get a lawyer? That type of thing. Talk about that. Selena drove me into bankruptcy. She dragged me into court over and over and over again until I couldn't afford legal representation anymore. But I didn't qualify for legal aid because I made too much money, because I had a job. Not a great job by world standards, but for Halifax, I had a good job. I made in the higher income bracket for people that lived in my local area. I was doing pretty well. But I was paying $200 an hour for my lawyer, and I got dragged into court endlessly by Selena. She could always get some lawyer to help her pro bono. And she endlessly dragged me into court. And eventually, I just couldn't afford to pay $200 an hour for a lawyer anymore. I went bankrupt. I spent money that I was supposed to use to pay my taxes to try to fight so that she wouldn't take my kid away. And then when it came time to pay my taxes, I didn't have enough money to pay my taxes, and I didn't have enough money to pay for a lawyer either. I had to declare bankruptcy. But I still had a job. I was in a state of bankruptcy. They were taking, they gave, for the period of my bankruptcy until my bankruptcy ended, I had an income cap. Anything above that cap was taken from me until the end of the bankruptcy. I had a legal limit on how much money I was allowed to make, and everything above that was taken. But I still had a job. I was still working. And she continued to drag me into court. And I went to talk to legal aid. I can't afford a lawyer. Well, you make too much money. We can't give you legal aid because you make too much money. Well, I don't have any money. I can't afford a lawyer. I need your help. I can't just not show up in family court. I'm forced to show up. And they're like, well, you'll have to borrow money. I'm like, I can't borrow money. This bitch fucking dragged me into fucking court so many fucking times I went bankrupt. I'm in a state of bankruptcy. I can't borrow money, and I can't afford a lawyer, and I can't decide that I'm not going to show up in court. I need help. And the legal aid people wouldn't help me. So I had to show up in court with no lawyer. I'm sitting there all by myself. This is the last court battle that I showed up with her. Was she wanted the right to take my daughter out of the country without my permission. That was like one of the last rights that I had. She wasn't allowed to leave the country without my written permission. I had to consent to that. And I'm there in court, and she's there with her lawyer. She came all the way down from Toronto to do this, and I got no lawyer. I'm just sitting there like looking at this judge, and I had legal rights that I could invoke. I knew that there were that if I knew the legal jargon, if I knew the magic words, it's not that I'm too stupid to understand, it's just that I don't know the rules of this game. I haven't studied this game. I don't know this game. I don't know the rules. And the judge was looking down at me, and you could see the pity in his face, because I had no support. And for all my intelligence and all my hard work and all my sacrifice, it didn't matter. And he looked at me with pity, and I wanted to hurt him. I wanted to hurt him for pitying me, because he was going to take my fucking last right away from me. And he was pitying me, and I wanted to punch him in the face because I was nothing I could do. What legal moves did I make? This is fucking Canada, man. This is Canada. There are no legal moves that you can fucking make. This is Canada. Don't you get it? Men don't have rights in Canada.